I take a pride on doing PhD on entrepreneurship education to trainee teachers. And yes, my university and my guide was for it. But the day I was giving my viva, the final viva, the examiner was of the point that the entrepreneurial qualities for the teachers and trainee teachers is futile. That is the problem. I told my examiner, this is the problem that I addressed in my research. Hi everyone, this is Dr. Akshita Bahuguna and I'm here with my Unbox Entrepreneurship. While unboxing entrepreneurship, I have worked exclusively on entrepreneurship education, and today we are going to talk about gamification in education. We need entrepreneurial teachers. The problems with the teacher is, as John Dewey said, if we teach today as we taught yesterday, we rob students of tomorrow. So this is the problem. I have been talking about the careers and the 21st century careers, the changes that has been brought about. The teaching style remains the same for last 100 years. In a corporate, if I go and say we don't have to change the product or the process, we are useless and people would throw us out. But in education, if a teacher says, I need to change the product, the concept, the process, you know the difference. They will never accept the teacher who wants the change, because the system is set and the teachers are working like assembly line. They have to work on the child, exact the manner they have been taught, and move ahead. And that is why there is a commoditization of education. When I say the entrepreneurial teacher, when I say the education needs change, when I say education needs to be entrepreneurial, in simple language, what I mean to say is we need the people who adapt changes, people who can bring about the changes and understand the needs of the 21st century child, 21st century careers. If the teacher understands these, only then the teacher can change something that the education is facing. But the problem that I see in education is it is only the exterior of the education that is changing. The core always remains the same. The same classroom, the same boards, the same setup. Even in the blended during the COVID, the teachers tried to copy the same thing within the laptop. But there were very few teachers who could adapt to the different apps and bring them to the classroom. If we want to change the education system, I can give you many entrepreneurial examples, but one out of which is gamification of the education system. What is gamification? Gamification is putting the principles of games into the area of non-game, that is, into the education. Gamification of education means putting the principles of games into the education. Now, how do I put? So, for that, I tried to understand. I was looking at the students nowadays who play Minecraft. Now, if we observe very carefully, they are actually hooked into the game and they play with that sandbox, and then they get that feeling of achievement. Whereas, if I say about the education, for education, the control of the teacher is regarded the highest. Although Daniel Pink said, control leads to compliances and autonomy leads to engagement. But how much of autonomy we give to the child, although we talk about child-centric education system, what I was observing during my research was to know what we need to teach student, how we need to teach student. We gathered the information from the teachers, from the administrators, from everybody except the child himself. Can't we go and ask, what do you want? How do you want? Even today, the whole concept of education revolves around, I tell you a knowledge, you mug up the knowledge, you write the knowledge on the paper, I give you the marks, you pass and you succeed. Now, where that mugging up is being used, because it is more of a machine. The information is there with the Google as well. So how the child is analyzing those informations is something that we are not able to work on. Analyzing. Now, if I say analyzing the information, working on information, this reminds me of an incident in our institution where the English teacher was teaching the vocabulary to the students, and after 3 days of learning the vocabulary, a parent of a child came to me complaining about the teacher. She said, since the last 3 days, the teacher is not teaching, she's wasting time and playing games with the student. I was surprised and I asked the child, what are you playing in the class? Now, she told me about the two games. Number one, the treasure hunt, and number two, the dumb charades. Then I asked her, what is she hunting in the treasure hunt? And she told me the story that is there in her English book, which is being taught to the child with the game. What are you doing in dumb charades? She said, the teacher gives us the vocabulary word and we need to enact it and speak out the spellings and the meanings. Now, this is a different way of assessing the child. And if she was using this, the parents thought it is a wastage of time, money and energy. That is the problem. Because gamification in the class, the sense of achievement that child gets after getting the knowledge like this, even the parents were not ready to accept it. Because study, education is a serious matter where you go, read the book and come back. Can't we change this system and gamify it the way I have been telling you? There is one more problem that I have been seeing. Student read in the class and learn at home. Now, how much time are we giving to the child to read? They hardly get any time to read, because instead of giving them the time for reading, we, the teachers, keep on talking to the class. If we want to change the system, if we need to educate our child, we need to apply the concepts of corporate into the education. The concept of understanding the knowledge, the concept of understanding the information, the concept of analyzing the information, the concept of synthesizing the information, concluding from that information rather than only reciprocating the information. Again, I was listening to one of the speeches by Minosh Sharif, director of London School of Economics, and she said, anything that is routine or repetitive will be automated. And obviously, she meant that the education that is repetitive and routine can be automated. The robots or the machine can replace the man. Yes, if the machine can do better things, replace it. But the problem here again is the child is not something where we need to download the information only. There are soft skills that the child needs to know. There are innovative skills that the child needs today. There are research skills that the child needs today. And every learning needs a social ecosystem. So if the machine is able to provide you the social ecosystem, go ahead with that. Machines can facilitate teachers. Machines cannot replace the teachers. And if machine cannot replace the teacher, we need to equip the teacher with the machines. The teacher who is adaptable enough to change the ways is an entrepreneurial teacher. The teacher who is ready to write a book on the concepts. I have seen the professors writing the book and not the school teachers. Why? I'll tell you the reason why. Because the professors get API score for writing the book. That is why they write the book. Whereas the school teachers doesn't have any API score. The basic mindset is not that entrepreneurial. The problems that the teacher faces in the class, the solutions that he or she gives in the class, calls for a book, calls for some entrepreneurial actions. But the teachers are never motivated towards that. Rather, I would say they are demotivated for it. They are motivated not to do these things. That is why the action research that the teachers takes up, if that can be documented, they can be published in journal or they can be patented and used by the other teachers. Why not? Why can't this make an entrepreneurial teacher? I know a teacher who has developed a video game where he gave the concepts on videos, asked the students to watch the videos before coming to the class. In the class, discussed all the concepts, then gave the reading material to the students and asked them the quiz questions. The class was automated and the students started acting like that. The students started learning fast. How can an entrepreneurial teacher be made? This is something is important, and for that we don't need to gamify the classroom. Rather, we need to gamify the whole education system. The education system that is dependent on STEM only needs to be replaced by STEAM, emotions as well, because we are unable to realize the importance of emotions during the school ages. That is why we face these problems and we don't accept the teachers to be entrepreneurial. Teachers can be entrepreneurial if they work towards the direction. During my school days, I have read many books, reference books, written by professors of the different universities, while the teachers are teaching those. Can't a school teacher write a book, an academic book, something on to give online? They can do that. But they are never motivated. And they are not motivated. Number one, they are not motivated. Number two, there is no intrinsic motivation in them to be entrepreneurial. They are rather told not to be entrepreneurial, to do service to the nation. I'm not asking you not to do the service to the nation. But with this now service, accept the entrepreneurial system within you, the entrepreneurial qualities within you, and explore these. Once the teachers are entrepreneurial, India can be entrepreneurial. And believe me, the day teachers are entrepreneurial, students are entrepreneurial, then India would gradually move from developing nation to developed nation. That would be the day India would be economic superpower. Not only the Vishwaguru in terms of knowledge, but Vishwaguru in terms of finances as well. The self-reliance that I talk about is something India can achieve only if the teachers has entrepreneurial qualities. I wish my teachers get these entrepreneurial qualities and many more that I did not talk about today. If you want to pursue this entrepreneurial journey, keep liking, subscribing and sharing my channel. The comments from the teachers and the professors are welcome in the comment box. Thank you.